What's up, Fantasy League enjoyers? First off, just a quick apology for my voice. I am very, very ill right now. I have some kind of flu. So I'm feeling a bit worse for wear. So I'm going to make this a pretty quick video. But as ever, of course, I'm waiting for Valve to update the pick'ems so I can go through the pick'ems. That's going to be way more in depth, looking at stats, looking at figures, looking at a lot of different variables, because this playoff is incredibly hard to call. Really, really difficult to call. And so I'm going to be looking into a lot of different things. But really, I think this is a bit of a coin flip if I'm being 100% honest with you. And I've based my picks here in my fantasy league really off budget and the teams I think have a very good chance of going and winning the major, or at least getting through to the grand finals. So in terms of our previous stage at the eliminations, I got top 43%, which is actually my worst finish in quite some time. But fortunately, the people around me in the celebrity leaderboard went for double Na'Vi. They went for, I think pretty much everyone went for Ema plus Alexi B. Now, Ema played actually quite well for Na'Vi, considering they went out. Wonderful was another player that he blew hot and cold, but especially in their last series, he was going ham against Heroic. He had a couple of really, really big maps, but they still lost. Bit was disappointing, especially for his price. And Na'Vi were just pretty woeful, but I'll discuss that more in the other video. So only 17 points for a player that costs like, I think 214k or something like that is sad times. Mezzi, though, did me proud. 101 points. Very nicely done for Vitality. And obviously the Mongols also bagged me a fair bit of points there. Mezzino with his 60. FaZe were all over the place. They got absolutely hammered and slaughtered by G2. I think it was 13-3 and 13-4. And that got me a ton of minus points on Karrigan and Rain. I so wish I'd played the chicken, and I nearly did play it, but I had belief in Karrigan and FaZe to maybe even win that game, and that really cost me horribly. So it was a bit of a rocky one. I think it was for a lot of people, though, that were believing in Na'Vi, and that completely backfired. So what's happened here is I've actually gone top of the leaderboard. There's only one game to be played, which will be the playoffs, and then the season ends. We still have the 1.5 times points, however, so although there is a bit of a gap, like 7 points between me and that, and then 17 points between me and Maui Snake, it's going to be very easy to catch up, because getting 20, 30, 40 points isn't crazy difficult. And considering that people are going to be rolling the dice here, if I just go the wrong way and someone goes the right way, there is every chance they're going to catch up. So this is nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie. The games are as follows: the MongolZ versus MongolZ, Spirit and Liquid, G2 Heroic, Vitality and FaZe. So I'm not really going to discuss who I think is going to win those games, because once again, that's going to be my pick'ems video. I am going to just jump straight across to my picks themselves. So I personally think that Vitality are in with a really good shot here of winning the major, in terms of the performances that we've seen coming into the playoffs, in terms of ZywOo really stepping up when it counts and like having some crazy individual performances. He's also one of the most versatile players in the world in terms of like, actually, a lot of people think of ZywOo as a sniper, as an AWPer. I honestly think he's just a hybrid player, like straight up. In fact, you could even make an argument that he's more of a rifler. A lot of the T sides, he loves to use the AK-47. He's picking it up time after time. And considering how T-sided a lot of the maps in the current pool are, like the Anubis, Dust 2, even Inferno is becoming more T-sided, Ancient's another one. That's where having an AK in your hands, in the hands of ZywOo, who's a very, very good rifler in his own right, is huge. And he's really showing that time after time. So this is one of those rare situations. You'll notice I very rarely go for the top premium picks, because I think they're overpriced. I think they're too much, and it leaves you kind of vulnerable and weak across the rest of the team. But I have a strong belief in Vitality and ZywOo in particular here to have a really good playoff. And so I'm happy going for him. The other reason that is, though, is because the Mongols, who I think have a real chance at making semis or even the finals, are dirt cheap. Super, super cheap. Techno is 184, and Mazzino is 193. Now, obviously, if the Mongols get stomped by Mouse in their first game, then that could get pretty bad for me, right? I get a lot of minus points, etc. But I think the Mongols can win that game. And even if they do get stomped, I've still got ZywOo, I've still got Apex, and I've still got Hunter. And if G2 do manage to make the upset happen, although some people would argue actually G2 are the favourites right now, and I can see that argument, then at least I would have a G2 player in the finals if they make it through to that stage. So I think I'm not confident about this. as I said, I think it's a coin flip. You can make an argument for Spirit to go the distance here. You can make an argument for FaZe to maybe go the distance because they're a playoff team and they're big game players. I think FaZe have looked pretty woeful, though. That's why I think Vitality have this game in the bag. There's a lot of different ways that I can see people going. Heroic believers, liquid believers even, if you don't think that Spirit are going to do anything. They're all fair choices, in all honesty. But I've decided to go for this and bank quite heavily on Vitality to make it through the grand finals and win the whole thing. But we shall see. I'll discuss my thoughts and opinions more in the Pick'ems video, which will be coming up later today. Hopefully Valve update it sooner rather than later. I've been waiting for the last few hours. And then as soon as they have, then we'll be cracking straight into that video. All right, guys, so you can look out for that one. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers for putting up with my voice. And I'll see you in the next video for the Pick'ems. Peace.